name is Gwen Ridenauer, and I'm with the STEAM Powered Classroom. And today I have chosen some selections in social studies to help make learning about countries, politics, socioeconomic conditions interesting for your kids, for your students. And I have a wide range of age-appropriate books. I'm going to start with How to Build Your Own Country by Valerie Wyatt. And this book is the youngest of my selections today, so I'd say middle elementary school to upper, maybe 4th through 6th grade, somewhere in there. The things I like about this book is it's fresh. It's really it's a cute illustrative style, and the chapters are very manageable. It's fun. It starts with your basic kind of PR marketing angle to forming your own country. What are you going to name it? What kind of flag are you going to have? All that fun kind of stuff, your branding stuff, and they kind of go with this example of Bathmatia and do lay out bath mats on the floor so that you can see how the islands work, and but then they go on to how to run the country and choosing some politics. Now it is a little bit ethnocentric in that it gives you some varieties of the ways that you can run your country, and it says clearly most of you are going to choose a democracy. Which, again, a little bit biased there, but if you could accept that, then the rest of the book really does kind of do more of an explanation of how democracy works. So they have the section on voting and all that kind of stuff too. So there's some cute activities, cute discussion in there, and a good way to start exploring how a country works. And if you're done with that, then you can graduate to Micronations, Invent Your Own Country and Culture with 25 Projects by Ceceri. And this book, in a very positive way, is it builds off of our previous choice and takes you a little bit deeper. It has more topics that it covers. The negatives about this book is it's a little bit textbooky. It's a little bit too much vocabulary. They bold the words that you're supposed to look up for vocabulary. I'm not a big fan of that style, but and they have these big, pull-out boxes, words you should know, and fascinating facts, and that kind of stuff. If that doesn't bother you, then move on, and there's still a lot of great stuff in this book. So that's not my favorite choice, but the projects are good projects. This one I would recommend for a teacher or a parent to look at and kind of glean some ideas as to how to build a project for your students. I wouldn't just hand this one over to my students, because some of the activities I think would be interesting and some your kids might not like so much. But it's a really great way to get you thinking about how you can create a Micronations project. So again, it starts with how you name your country, how you brand it. It goes into geography, it goes into climate and cultures, what you wear, how cultures kind of develop what their traditional clothing is, religion, economy, all that stuff, and politics. So it's a great, I think I would go to this one if I was going to do a social studies unit. I would go to this and read it and then create my own curriculum or my own plan for my kids. So I would recommend that one too. And then DK. Now this one is called A City Through Time, From Ancient Colony to Vast Metropolis. And there's a series of these actually, a Whatever Through Time. And another really great one is A Port Through Time. And this is illustrated by Steve Noon. This is a very popular series in our library too. And it starts with a city. It takes one city, and it starts from early history, and it shows you what it would have looked like for a civilization to be on that spot. And then it moves through time, and so you see this same city developing and changing architecturally. You see it does a nice job of breaking out the layers, the different floors in the buildings, how the plumbing works, how the heating works, the stuff even a little bit below ground. So it shows you the development of civilization and how we progress through time. So these are really fun to just, I love to put this one in your car, because this one's going to be one that kids just look at for a long time. So I would choose that one too. And then I've got a couple of activity books. This one's called The Stock Market Game, A Simulation of Stock Market Trading by Dianne Draze. And this one I haven't used yet, but I keep bringing home, hoping that I have time to incorporate it in our homeschool studies, because I don't know a whole lot about the stock market, to be honest. I'm not very versed in it. I don't know how to play it. I hear NASDAQ and I understand basically what it means, but I don't really know how to interact with it. And I would like for my kids to be more well equipped than I am. So what I like about the stock market game is it has basically 3 sections. The first section tells you how the stock market works, gives you some language, gives you some definitions that you're going to need to understand how to work within the stock market. And then there's 2 games. The first option is a shortened version. It takes 5 days, and it basically compresses information of the stock market within 5 days. And so you choose some companies, you choose your company in which to invest, and you have numbers, artificial numbers that you're presented with each day, and you can make your decisions whether to buy or sell. And so within 1 week, you can kind of understand how the stock market goes up and down and how you can interact with it to make the most of your money and your investment. The longer version is the next part, that was the last part of the book. And if you're into that, then they actually follow the actual stock market. So it takes place over several months. It's a longer investment of time. And they recommend that you just check in with the stock market once a week and make your investments, buying, selling stocks, just on a weekly basis. So that then you can watch real-time action, choose your companies, choose real companies, and watch and see if you've made strong investments or not. So I hope we get to this one day, because I think this is a really interesting title. And if you get to it before me, please let me know what you think. Another activity book is called Order in the Court, a Mock Trial Simulation. And this one's by Darcy Blauvelt. And this one takes you to the courts, and this is for more of a larger group setting. And so again, I haven't been able to use this one in my own homeschool environment because I don't have all that many kids. But if you have a homeschool co-op or a classroom or a gifted and talented group that you work with on a regular basis, this might be a really nice choice for you. So you separate into small groups. And the first part is separated into units. It is more traditional public school language in this book, so there's lots of discussion of assessments and rubrics and how you can prove that your children, how you can analyze the progress of your kids. So you are in a court. They give you the language. The first unit is very much, it's student-centered. So the students sit around and they get to talk about what they know about the court system. And so you're not just getting information from a teacher, you're first gleaning it from each other. And then the teacher can provide some additional information so that you understand what a witness is, so that you understand what prosecution means. And then it takes you through a series of cases. And it gets harder and harder, more complex with each unit. So you're building off of the information that you have, and you do your different cases, and you get to play these roles. You get to be the defense or the prosecutor. You get to be the judge and the jury. So I think this would be really fun to do, and it tells you how many days are going to be required for each unit. It's very well, like it'll give you well prepared to run this in your class. So yeah, that would be a good choice. And then this one, the last one for today, is Our Supreme Court by Richard Panchyk. And this one you can do with as many or as few kids as you want. So this might be a nice alternative for those of you who don't have a larger classroom. And this is a history with 14 activities. And this takes some major issues that we still grapple with today. Civil rights, freedom of religion, several big themes. Property rights, regulation of business, criminal justice, right to privacy, free speech, all these great hot topics. And underneath each one of these topics, they have a series of actual Supreme Court cases, and it tells you what happened, gives you the context, gives you the results, and then it does something very interesting. It interviews people who were involved in these cases. So it's nice to hear, sometimes it's the person on trial, sometimes it might be somebody in the court, but their response afterwards. So no matter what the outcome was, how do these people feel about that? And so it kind of gives you a next step into some more ethical conversations about how these cases work, how these things impact our lives. So I would absolutely recommend this book. This is one I keep bringing home as well and kind of diving into. And so there you go. I hope you enjoy these titles, and I hope it helps you and your kids enjoy and get a deeper understanding of the way our country works and the way the whole world works together. And I'll see you next time.